Hi there, it's Derek here. Have you ever heard of something called storycasting? Well, keep watching and you'll find out a bit more about what it is. Hi, well, I'm getting onto my hobby horse a little bit here because there's something that really irks me is when people start nicking things and sort of pretending they're theirs, that they've worked on it for years or whatever. Now, I work in the space of creativity and innovation, and a lot of the things that we use, a lot of the techniques we use, some have been developed there, some have gone across into industry or academia, they've come back again, and they've been batted backwards and forwards. And what really irks me is where people take these things and they take them for their own, they relabel them, they change the language and everything, and pretend that something new has come along. And this is what's happened in this case. And the thing that, what it used to be called, people used to talk about it a lot, storyboarding. Using a storyboard to plan something out. People in marketing have been used to it. People in project management and project planning probably a little bit less so. But over the recent years, anyway, what's happened is people have taken this idea, the idea that you can go somewhere into the future and then effectively turn around and look backwards towards where you are, and then work out the little steps on the way through. And they've called this backcasting. So instead of forecasting, it's backcasting, and it's great, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's not. It's storyboarding. But what I'd like to do is actually take this one step further. I'm renaming this whole idea storycasting because we are using a story. First of all, why do we use a story? Well, if you think about it, if you just think about the storyboard, you can use a storyboard, work out sometime in the future, and as I said, work out the intermediate steps. The great thing about these is that the steps, if you look at a storyboard, are just snapshots. You can get people's input into everything. You can get different perceptions of everything. So you can work out what the steps are that you need to take, how people look at these steps, how people need to be involved in these steps. It can be quite rich, and you don't get the disagreement that you do with a normal sort of planning document. So that's absolutely great. So there we are. We've storycasting. We're forecasting and we're using a story. But people with backcasting, what they're actually doing, they're not really going far enough. If you see what I mean, if you have something in the future that you almost know is there, you can almost touch it, and then you turn back and you look towards where you are and work out the steps. You haven't really gone very far at all. What I want to do is take this concept and go further into the future using a concept called weak signals. Now, to explain this, imagine you are standing in a harbour. Maybe you're standing in Dover. I wouldn't do that with Brexit on the horizon, but imagine that you're standing in Dover and you're looking out across the sea. There's no ship in sight, but it's been a relatively calm sea, so you can still see maybe the ripples of a wake. You might see some rubbish that's been thrown overboard. You might see other things in the water. You just think it's rubbish, you just think it's ripples. But an experienced sailor might tell you, oh, that's a Stainer ferry. It's got 4 propellers. It's headed in the direction of Calais. or whatever just by looking at what's left in the water. That's what we mean by weak signals. These are very, very weak signals, and using patterns and intuition and other techniques, we actually see into the future. So using the wake idea, we know where that boat is now. So we apply the concept of weak signals to the environment we're in, the technology we have, the people we have. So we can work out maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It depends on how fast things move. But we can actually have a fairly good stab at these things. And then we turn around and we create our storyboard. So our casting forwards into the future, we've gone forward a lot further in time, and we've probably got more and more information. And that's purely because we have used alternative thinking techniques. We're not bound by rigid project management techniques. So storycasting, we can look into the future, we can plan, we can look further forward into the future if we really want to, if we really need to, and have some sort of planning. So remember, folks, this is an alternative thinking technique. It's not a technique that's been devised by project managers or strategists or academics. It's been hijacked. They've just changed the terminology. So remember, you heard it here first. It's storycasting. If you want to know any more, please do get in contact. And if you like the sort of thing you're hearing here, please click on the little subscribe button and watch out for more of the videos. Until next time.